My dear students, today I'm with a video lesson on The Enemy by Pearl S. Buck. I already explained you many aspects of the story. Today, the doubt that you have raised will be clarified with the help of this video lesson. So here is something about your author, that is Pearl S. Buck. You can find the picture also. Birth June 26, 1892 in Hillsborough, West Virginia. Parents Southern Presbyterian missionaries stationed in China, where Pearl S. Buck spent most of her first 40 years of her life. Awards 1932 won the Pulitzer Prize and the Howells Medal in 1935 for The Good Earth, which was adapted as a major MGF film in 1937. In 1938, won the Nobel Prize in Literature. This is something great. The first American woman to do so. By the time of her death in 1973, Pearl published over 70 books, novels, collection of stories, biographies, autobiography, poetry, drama, children's literature, and translation from the Chinese. Really a great writer, Pearl S. Buck. Let's come to the story, The Enemy. The leading character or the hero of the story is Dr. Sadao. Dr. Sadao Hoki's childhood. Uh, you know that near his house there were pine trees, okay, and he climbed those pines, watched islands, and played along the coast. What about his house? His house was a stone house located upon rocks well above the narrow beach. His education at 22 years went to America and returned after 8 years. Became a surgeon and scientist. After getting his education in America, he returned to Japan again and he became a surgeon and scientist. Presently, it was the time of war, you know already. The background of the story is Second World War. So the army of Japan was at war, but Sadao was not sent to war. He was not sent to uh, the front with the soldiers. Why? Because the general of the army might need him. He was perfecting a discovery. Dr. Sadao was perfecting a discovery that would render wounds entirely clean. So he was pursuing a study that would render wounds entirely clean. Why was he not sent with the troops? There are two reasons: that he was medicating the old general, as the general was in some ailment, and second, he was perfecting a discovery that would render wounds entirely clean. His wife, what's the name of the wife? Hannah. She was pleasant, affectionate, caring. Sadao met Hannah at Professor Hurley's house in America, married her in Japan in a traditional way. The reason that he married Hannah in traditional way was because his father was a strict Japanese, a quite traditional man who didn't tolerate any kind of Western things. Now, the challenge. What happens? It was a misty night, and they saw staggering body. Okay, and later on they find that it he was a wounded person, and the wounded person collapsed all of a sudden. He was a white man, an American, and an enemy, because uh, there was not a good relationship between Japan and America. Sadao and Hannah carried him to Sadao's father's bedroom. It is ironical that uh, they carried him in Sadao's father's bedroom, because all the furniture, all the things that were in Sadao's father's bedroom were of Japan, Okay, but in that room, an outsider, an enemy, a white person was kept. That's really an ironical thing. Washed by Hannah because Yumi refused. Who was Yumi? Yumi was maid servant. She refused to clean the white American. So he was washed by Hannah, operated by Sadao, and Hannah held the anesthetic. Bullet removed from near the kidney. Life saved. It means Dr. Sadao saved the life of the prisoner of war, and after the operation he was feeble and weak. Prisoner fed and rested to recovery, but was anxious for his future. He was quite worried about his future. What might happen to him? Sadao's dilemma. His servants threatened to leave in protest. They threatened that they would leave his house. There was a conflict between duty as a doctor and duty as a true patriot. He was afraid of being called a traitor. He resolved to save the prisoner. Hannah and Sadao stood firm, did not relent, treated the prisoner with respect. Let's talk about the old general. And you may find in the story that the old general was finally informed about the uh, enemy being kept by Dr. Sadao. The general offered to help and send assassins. When Dr. Sadao informed the general about the white enemy, the general offered to help and send assassins. Assassins would killed kill and remove the prisoner quietly. So Dr. Sadao was expecting assassins to be sent by the general. 3 nights passed, but no assassins turned up. Now, how Dr. Sadao helps the enemy to escape? Let's see here. Dr. Sadao gave the prisoner a boat, extra food, clothing, bottled water, and a flashlight, and covered his hair with a black cloth, directed him to row to an uninhabited island, asked him to wait for a Korean fishing boat, told him to flash the torch twice if he ran out of food, and flash it once if he was all right. Thus, the prisoner escaped. Now, at the very last part of the story, you will find admission by the general, that the general admits that he forgot to send the assassins, that he had failed in doing his duty towards his country. He justifies his action that it was due to ill health and not due to lack of patriotism that he did not send the assassins. Sadao reflected. Sadao wondered as to why he had saved the American, had hatred for Americans, their enemy, but humanity overpowered his feelings. Now, here is a worksheet for you. Please answer these questions, and you can send the answer to me. Question number one: give two reasons why Sadao was not sent abroad with the troops. Question number two: what did the servants think of Dr. Sadao sheltering the enemy? Question number three: Hannah plays an instrumental role in saving the life of an injured prisoner. Give an account of her role in light of the above statement. Question number next: true humanity overpowers prejudice and has no barriers. Elaborate. All these questions please do yourself and send the answers to me. I hope you have understood every aspect of the video. Thank you and keep watching the next part of this.